Good to go.
Good morning, everybody. It's 11, so we'll get started. Happy Tuesday. Hope you guys enjoyed your long weekend. Anybody else left? Joy? Is Jerry here? No. Okay. Just want to anybody. Look at this amazing packed room. I'm so excited to see so many new faces here today. A few of you that I have not met. There's like 2 people that I still see that I don't know face to face. I'm Dara, the interim team leader here at KW North Gwinnett. I'm so glad everybody is here. I know I was here for Jason, really. So I know that's the deal. I don't kid myself. Anyway, hopefully we'll get started. Let's see. Bucket fills. Who's got some good Ungrateful's bucket fills for this week, after the weekend? Anybody? Don't be shy, because I don't call on you. Go, Ty.
After 2 years, my teenager finally realizes it's easier to get good grades than bad, so I don't have to do that.
Congratulations! Parenting is not easy. Who else? Who else has got something? Anybody? Birthdays, listings, closings. I know we have some because I've seen them.
I got a tough list.
Oh.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, Bob.
No.
Kathy, you go.
Ladies?
Kathy was a good girl. She raised her hand.
3 closings on the 27th of this month, so I'm 1 deal away from capping in January.
Wow.
Congratulations! That's amazing. You what?
That'll be a first for the early year.
That's amazing. Great job. Bob, how about you?
I just got a really tough listing on the lake under contract, and it's all cash, ready to go, and I'm very excited about it because I was a little afraid of that one.
Nothing like the scary ones.
Yeah.
That's right. Good job. Anybody else? Oh, quiet day. Okay. Strategic partners. Joy, you want to come on up? Sure. Welcome. Happy Tuesday. Everybody,
It's wonderful to see this new video.
I know. I'm so excited. I can really see it.
Good morning. Happy New Year. I believe it's 2023. And I know what you guys all want to know, right? I'm sure Jason's going to touch on it. So, mortgage rates. What are they going to do this year?
Go down.
Yeah, let's be positive.
Let's go with that.
You got a 50-50 shot.
Yeah. And actually, over the past month, they have gone down. So that's some good news, right? I mean, they were like 7.5, and now they're down to 6. So that's pretty darn good. And my message to you guys on that, if you're working with a buyer, have them revisit their pre-qualification because that makes a huge difference. Okay, maybe instead of 350, maybe they can go 4. So now's a good time to make that call and just have them, touch base with their lender and get the numbers again. But as far as what they're going to do this year, I've heard both ways. It's just going to depend on inflation and how the Fed feels about that and just all the reports. Because usually when there's some kind of big report coming out, that's when we see a lot of movement. That's when we see them going up and down. So just kind of, I'll keep you guys posted. I'm continuing to put the rates every Friday in the Facebook group. So just be on the lookout for that. And it's a new year, so anything you guys need from me, I'm ready for some new ideas from you. I'm excited. So let me know what you need.
Awesome. Thanks, Joy. Kelly here. Kelly's here. No, all right. Tiffany, come on up. Woo!
I like this meeting. When I pulled in and saw all the cards, I was excited. Just one thing I want to tell you guys today. Look for an email this afternoon. I'm going to send out the updated homestead exemption forms. So this is a really good way when you're doing your touches with your clients to send them, remind them if they bought a house in 2022 that they need to file for homestead exemption by April 1st of this year in order to get that. If you miss that filing deadline, then you have to wait a whole other year. So there's no way around that. There are 2 forms that will come with it. One is a list that gives you all the rules for homestead exemption. And then one is the links. It's like hyperlinks to each of the websites for the counties in order to file them. So you can send them both. I'm going to send a Word document so that you can brand them for yourselves if you want to, because they've got my name on them now. But no, I feel both ways about that. If you don't want to look like you're giving out advice on something that you're not really familiar with, then I would just leave my name on it. So that way, if they have any questions or comments, they can call me and I can walk through it. Other than that, if they did any deed transfers in 2022, that's also a reminder. So that's just a good way to check. I know we've talked about this before in team meetings where if you want to send a reminder, if you haven't looked at your deed yet, if you purchase a foreclosure, the likelihood is that they didn't do joint tenants with right to survivorship unless you ask them to. So a lot of people think that they own, different ways. So, they want to pull their deeds, just make sure they know how they're vested and that they have their homestead exemption. So it's really a touch for everybody, not just people who purchased in 2022. So if you don't have any questions, let me know. Those forms will go out this afternoon.
Awesome.
Thank you, Tiffany. The rest of the group isn't here, so we will move on. Any vendors that are in the house, please stand up and say good morning and tell everybody who you are. See, 1, 2. Go for it.
Hey, good morning. I'm Jacqueline from Peachtree Interiors. Please call us if we can help you with any floor covering, window covering, countertops, tile.
Awesome. Thank you, Jackie.
Hey, I'm Megan Lusky. Our team's here. We're bringing lunch today. I am a certified financial planner.
And my name is John Christian Keever, and we help our clients achieve their maximum financial potential through decisive, expert risk management.
My name is Macy. I'm the technically the account manager and the assistant director.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Classes that are coming up for January. We have career night with David on the 18th. For the 19th, we have Rachel Farrell, and I know that I've shared this a lot. She is coming from Nashville. Our class is really filling up, so I'm so excited. This is an in-person class making videos and reels. Her jam is social media, and that's where she gets her leads from. So she is coming to share a wealth of information. And then Kelly is doing a command class on the 20th. We also have Joy's doing her advanced mortgage mastermind on the 24th. David's doing his CE contract class with Broker Boys on the 26th. Kelly's got another DocuSign on the 30th, and then Shannon Dager will be here from Cincinnati, Ohio on the 31st. If any of you don't know her, I will share that she and Linda McKissick have started a podcast together it went live a few days ago. And so I will share that as well. It's really pretty cool. It's called Lady Leaders. And so I'm sure everybody here knows Linda McKissick. Anyway, they have partnered together to do this. So I feel really special being able to grab her to come speak at our market center at the end of the month. Not Linda, just Shannon, by the way. Family reunion, as you guys know, 18th to the 21st. Please sign up if you are able. We would love for you to join us. As everybody knows, this is in person only, not online or virtual. Sarah has also been asked to speak on a social media panel there, so we're really proud and excited for her. Career night, Zoom only on the 18th. We talked about that. For those of you that don't know, we have a transaction coordinator that we offer special discounts to here at the Market Center. It's Vanessa. I don't know if anybody here knows her. She is a VA for us, but she is amazing. And I know a few agents here are already using her and have great success. So something to think about. We'll share this information if part of your 2023 goals, or to have some admin services and really kind of get your year going with some support. She can be your gal. Last but not least, we'll welcome the one and the only Jason Bonds to teach us goals and stats for 2023. Please welcome
Thank you, Derek.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Derek's doing a great job leading the office right now, isn't she?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Yes, full room, no pressure. Stadium seating in the market center, no pressure at all. All right, so we're going to talk about 2023 today, and I just want to hear some idea from you about what do you think is going to happen in 2023. You know this is always a conversation with me, so tell me what your thoughts are. Yes, Ty.
Barring any outside factors, economic, geopolitical, what have you, I feel that we're going to get back to a more balanced market where we have several months of inventory, more than 3 even, and interest rates are going to get to a place where everybody's comfortable, maybe 5s or 6s. And
okay, don't give the whole market. Don't give the whole market. I got you on 2 right there. Thank you.
Okay, sorry.
I think to some degree I agree with
to some degree.
Right. Well,
which
here's
means
what I
there is
think.
a difference of opinion, just a tiny bit.
I think we're still going to be in a pretty extreme shortage of inventory. We still don't have inventory. We won't for a few years, I think. I am not as optimistic on the interest rates. I think it's going to be 24 before we start to see that drop down to the 5% range.
all the way one more year?
What, well, essentially, and here's the thing, we're in a normal interest rate environment. This is what people don't really realize. 3% is not sustainable and it's not real.
It's not. You're correct. You are correct. And I'm not making fun of you saying 24.
Oh, I know.
I'm just saying, we have such a short-term perspective
Oh, I know.
so often, you know. All right.
I'm just stealing Dr. Rajiv's information.
I love it. I love it. See, that's a studied man sharing information and knowledge. Who else? Yes.
So one of the things that it may feel like we have inventory right now, it's just because we had such an acute shortage of inventory for a prolonged period of time that right now it feels like we're closer to a balanced market. We're still in a very extreme seller's market contextually over the history.
Yeah.
Right? Because we still have housing shortage, because we still have the recession where builders weren't building houses at the rate that they needed to basically keep up with the population growth. So we're still going to see that. And as far as interest rates go, we're starting to see inflationary pressure come off a little bit. And so I agree with Bob to some extent.
To some extent, there's some disagreement there.
I also agree with Bob to some extent.
We'll agree with you.
Yes, okay, yeah, all right.
So I don't know that we're going to get, I don't think we're going to see below 5 until 2024, but I actually think we're going to pull into the high mid-5s.
Right.
Second, third quarter this year.
So the inventory conversation is if I'm standing on your throat with both feet, that's uncomfortable. If I take 1 foot off, but I'm still standing on your throat with 1 foot.
Yeah.
You'll be able to breathe a little bit, but it's still uncomfortable.
I mean, I guess it depends on which way you shift your weight.
And I have a lot of weight to shift. So it's January, so there's more weight than normal. All right, who else? Thoughts on what's going to happen this year? Thoughts on what the market has?
I might argue with, when I say argue, I might be slightly different from David in the sense that it's also on us to educate, because my first home loan was 8%, and that was amazing at that point. And then, so it's all relevant. A lot of the people that are buying in the market today, only have experience with rates that are, as high as 5, and then they bottomed out into the 2s, and that's their normal in their lifetime. So
That's
it
free
comes
money.
on us to educate them on the 30 and 40-year pattern,
Right.
and then we're still well below that.
And you have to do that appropriately too, because an unconditioned consumer that only knows 3%, when you say, "Oh, back in my day we were 8%,"
Exactly.
and they're like, "Man, come on." It's 2023, and what we're used to is 3 on 30 years, and that's and it's not that today. And so you have to really manage that conversation so that you remain relevant to them, and also educate them. Did you have anything?
I was gonna say, I think there's going to be less new agents getting into the business, and you're gonna start to see a lot of them leave.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, that's true.
Sorry, Dave.
Somebody give me an amen. Okay.
Opportunity.
Opportunity, yes, for stimulation. All right.
Brokers and people don't like it when I say that. In this case, I agree with Ty 100%.
Okay.
It is going to be, as you have said, skills based, and we need to educate our people, both buyers and sellers and investors for that matter, because they're 6 or 8 months behind the information, and the news doesn't help.
Skills based and activities based.
I also agree with Bob.
All right. Mr. Nash.
I think too, investors are gonna get out, they are getting out, they've been going off of that and all, I lost a lot of listings to them.
So it's going to change the landscape. It's going to change the competitive landscape of our industry, which has been kind of nuts lately, where in the last few years. And whenever you have some pressure in the marketplace, then it's going to cleanse some of those players that are stealing market share in an environment where they have the opportunity to do so, but under normal fundamentals in the industry would not necessarily survive. Companies like that, where there's no clear path to profitability, but when there's stupid funny money in the game, then profitability is just simply a distraction on the path to disrupting an industry. But then the shareholders and the board wakes up one day and says, "Oh crap, things just got real. Now pressure, you have to make a profit." or there's no path to profitability, then some of those disruptors end up just washing out.
I think there's an abundance of opportunity in what seemingly looks like to some people as the cow patty that real estate currently is. But I would argue that there's more opportunity now, not just on our level as agents, but with what we offer as value to our clients.
I agree, 100%. Okay, Thea, last one, then we're gonna move on.
I would say as, with the changing market, we're going to see, as we've already kind of said, that we're going to see agents exit the market. So I think the opportunity that Ty is saying is that we're going to have, if we have a very clear value proposition, we're going to be able to basically see that opportunity and really jump on board on that.
I agree. I agree completely. I agree completely. All right, so here's the question. Can you be successful under these market conditions in 2023?
Yes.
Can you be successful in these market conditions?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So this weekend, so I turned 50 on Friday and had a big milestone birthday. And I'm going to share with you something that will answer this question for you right here. I know you answered, but I'm going to share something with you. The kids did something that completely wrecked me on Friday. We went to dinner and they gave me this. I'm not going to read all of it. I tell you the story before you start reading, you know. So they gave me this frame. We're at dinner and they gave me this frame. You know, I'm going to open the frame like, cool, we framed a picture of all of us. I'm not really sure. That'd be cool too, you know. Well, I'm not the decorator of the family, so I'm really curious about what this. I unwrap it and look at it, and the title of it is 50 Life Lessons with Dad. Oh, wow. And they put together 51 life lessons that they have absorbed over their lifetime with me as their dad. And I'm just like, I would read one and laugh, like, because it was hilarious, and then the next one would just completely destroy me, and I'm like, yeah. And so I cried and laughed and laughed and cried and cried and laughed. And it was just an amazing moment. It's like one of those things where I was speaking to a couple of people before the meeting, and I said, there are things in life where you choose a direction, and you don't know the result of that direction for 10, 15, 20 years. And you just stay a course for a long period of time, and then at some point, there's fruit from that, good or bad. And there are many times in life where, man, I messed that one up, and after many years, you realize that was not the right direction. And there's some times where you say, they were listening to me. They get it, you know, they understand. And so I was really, really touched by it. But this is a snapshot of some of them. And for some reason, people really honed in on 13. Farts are always funny. I don't know what that is, but, you know, it's the deep ones that really get you right here. You know what I'm saying? But today is about lesson number 11. And lesson number 11 is if you say so. And the kids, they love this one now because they use it against me or on me or to me. But when they were growing up, they really hated this one because they would say something like, it's going to be a crappy day. If you say so, you know, then it is going to be a crappy day. You know, I'm going to fail that test. Well, if you say so, you got to put the work in. But if you have that type of an attitude, you're sure to fail the test. And then the opposite of that is, I'm going to hit a home run. Today I'm going to hit a home run. Buddy, if you say so. Like, I want to see you hit that home run. You get to choose. We heard John Maxwell speak last week, and John said that matters of choice, you can make significant immediate improvement on matters of choice, like choosing your attitude, your outlook, your expectation, choosing your response to something instead of a reaction. There's matters of choice where you get to choose. You can have significant improvement. Things like, you know, look, if you've been if you are a runner and you just started running today and you cannot run a quarter of a mile without, you know, then you're not likely going to run a ultra marathon this weekend. That's not a matter of choice. There's things of preparation. Like if you're fairly new in real estate, you're not going to be a 15-year veteran this summer. That's not a matter of choice. You can choose to be a student. You can choose to put yourself in the right environment. You can choose your attitude. You can choose your outlook. You can choose your activities. You can choose to improve. Those matters of choice, you get to choose and you determine the outcome. So whether you can or cannot succeed in 2023, based on whatever the market conditions end up being, we're going to talk about what's happened, what are the super smart people saying that's most likely to happen, and then what are some of our thoughts about what might happen, and then what do you do with it? And my response to you, my encouragement to you is lesson number 11, which is if you say so. So if you say so. So y'all ready to get into that?
Yes.
All right. So these are the 4 different areas we're going to go into, and that's home prices, interest rates, number of homes selling, and number of agents in the marketplace. Before we get into each of those, I do want to set a little kind of overarching context for you and say that there's still this crashy kind of a perception out there where people think that is this time like last time, the PTSD of 2008, 9, 10, massive crash, the Great Recession, carnage everywhere. If you weren't in the industry, if you're in this room, you were alive, and so you experienced it at some level. If you were in the industry, you have probably a really, really powerful recollection of that period. But I just want to share with you, and I'm constantly bringing this up to you guys in different ways because I want you to really get it. And I want you to be able to convey that to people in the marketplace in the education piece, and also to help set your mindset as to what we're going into, what we're in, and what we're going into. So just key quick data points, and I had 6 different ones the last time I was in front of you, but job cuts. In leading up to the Great Recession, 8 million job cuts, and now no job cuts. Total jobs, 158 million now, 138 million then. Subprime loans, which that was a high-risk borrower in a high-risk product. That's what subprime loan was a high-risk borrower in a high-risk product. We don't have that at all. There's virtually no subprime high-risk, high product and borrower. And it was by far what we were doing the most. It was ridiculous. It was the wild, wild west. It was insane. Again, if you lived through that, you know what I'm talking about. New construction, 7.65 million, now 4.6 million. We have now it's a 12-year deficit in new home construction. We still, even if we doubled what we were doing right now, we would not meet the demand in the marketplace for new construction. And there we had a glut of new construction. They had overbuilt. And you are constantly feeding the machine in new construction. You're 2 to 4 years out when you start a project. And when the music stopped, that train is still going with a lot of momentum. So when the music stopped, we pumped a buttload of inventory onto the ground after the inventory skyrocketed. So it's completely different. We're not in that situation. Inventory 3.8 to 4 million, and today we have 1 to 1.2 million of available homes in the market. That is a significant difference than the last time. Mortgage delinquencies, double digits, now it's 3.6. And even the 3.6, those people are maybe delinquent, but they're not upside down. So in the previous correction, they were upside down. And so when you're upside down and delinquent, you don't have options. When you have significant equity and you're delinquent, you have options. So that is why this is so different. 4.6% of the market in foreclosure and less than 1% today is because when a borrower has equity, they have options. But we were giving these crazy loans at over 100% financing, and the appreciation was not happening at the same clip, and we were just piling these on, and then the music stopped and everything collapsed, came backwards, and they were upside down. So I just want, again, in another way, to show you how this time is nothing like last time. We are in a shift. Do not mistake what I'm saying. We're in a shift. When you go from 6.2 million transactions to 4.8 million transactions, that is a shift in marketplace, just simply by definition. when you have a market going from 40% appreciation over a couple of years to stagnant, that is a shift. We are in a shift. We are not in a crash. And I don't know of anyone who's calling for that in the next 12 to 24 months. So I just want you to see that. Secondly, I want you to know that real estate's a local game. And so I don't know how many of you have seen this article, but you need it in your presentation. You need it in your heart and mind. And that is when analyzing the top 10 marketplaces to take to take on the conditions of 2023, top 10, where does Atlanta rank? You can read it right there. I'm just kind of like one of those, are you paying attention? Atlanta is number one. So Atlanta is number one on the top 10 list of markets to take on the conditions of 2023. And that has to do with jobs, employment, cost of living, availability, all of those factors that we look at in our business to see whether or not we're in a good strong market. Number one. Also number one is Keller Williams Realty Atlanta Partners. So you're in the number one town, in the number one real estate company, in a shifted market with the best training and tools and resources and environment and community for you to keep your head on straight and also build the skill set and be held accountable to the activities that you need to compete and achieve your goals in this market in 2023. If you take advantage of it. So I tell you, our room is full. I love seeing it. Tonight, it's awesome. They said, "Oh, I know why you came. You came for Jason." No, you came for charts and graphs. That's what you came for. I know that. Yeah. I get it. So this room's not always full. The classes aren't necessarily well attended. The things that are available aren't often utilized. When they are, they help you and they benefit you. When I've said this many times, human mind left unchecked can rationalize anything. You can be very isolated in this business. Very isolated. You can come in this room and smile and hug everybody and drink your coffee and hang out with me for an hour and feel real good and leave this place and then isolate yourself on an island and just in a couple of days be completely destroyed emotionally and mentally again. And so I'm telling you, this is a place for you to come and get plugged in, keep your head up, keep yourself in the activity, stay in the right type of environment with the right type of people that are going after it, going to succeed in this marketplace, or you can choose to isolate yourself. Don't isolate yourself. All right, so home prices, that's where we're going. Home prices, what's going to happen with them, what has happened. And so this is the super smart people and their predictions for 2023. As you can see, it runs the gamut. And I love that you're taking pictures. Please feel free to. I will step aside, do it all day, and we'll send you the slides. They've got a PDF.
Yeah, we'll share all this on the resource when we're done. Yeah.
But don't let me keep you from taking pictures, because I know I said that one time, and this lady was like, "Hey, I'm posting something right now, and I don't want to wait on the PDF." I'm totally fine. I'm not telling you that to shame you for taking pictures. I'm just letting you know that you will get them too. So you can see that it runs the gamut from 5% up to 5% down, and the average there is somewhere flat or just slightly up, 0.1%. That's flat. Yes.
Is there a what's the word I'm looking for? Is there a reasoning or a reason why the folks who are looking at this negatively are all money folks, and the folks who are looking at this in a positive light are all in the agent hands-on market?
Yeah, they slightly disagree.
Apparently they don't have all positive outcomes.
Yeah, they slightly disagree.
So they're like Bob and Ty. Mostly agree.
Mostly agree.
They're just off by 10% or so.
It's close enough. It's close enough, but they do mostly agree. So, but you can see the spread there, and let's look at what our marketplace has done. Our marketplace in the last couple of years, you can see this is 2 years rolling. This is the counties right in our backyard here: Gwinnett, Hall, Barrow, single family residential, price per square foot across the board. And you can see over the 2-year period an increase in 41.2%. Holy cow.
That's crazy.
Sustainable? No. Yes, exactly. This is just this last year.
Ooh, that's
So 4.2%. See, Tony's been around for a little while, so he knows.
Thank
So 4.2. You're here way before I got here. I really don't even know how long you've been here. So,
He's like Keith Richards.
but I always love seeing your face here. Okay, so 4.2% December to December. Okay, and you can see it cresting. You can see in the middle of the year it peaked, and so it's an aggressive up, and then a pullback, and still up 4.2%. So from the peak to the end, it was down 5.2. So 41% over 2 years, peak and down up 4.2, and then from the peak to the end down 5.2%. That's kind of in line with that 5% pullback. And in fourth quarter, there were super smart people kind of calling for a moderate pullback, and we began to see that. I'm going to tell you that it's just my opinion, that one of the things that happened right here was this is about the time the market slowed. And you know that sellers were still getting $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 over not list price, but value.
Mm-hmm.
So they were getting significantly over the actual value of the property, because that's what a buyer had to do to control the property. So the value didn't just automatically increase $40,000 at that moment. It takes a series of those happening that pull that value up. So those people who controlled that property 20, 30,000 over list price, over value, when the music stopped, well, the value didn't continue. So it shows as a closed property, but quickly we came back to reality. Okay, so quickly we came back to reality. And I believe that that is just that extreme tension. We had extreme upward tension in the marketplace. And when the music stopped, that tension had to relieve back to wherever the value was. And so I think that was what happened. And you can kind of see it right there, just as significant. And then it kind of leveled out. So when the music stopped, middle of the year, there was significant movement. You can see that in any chart you look at. And then there's just this slight pullback, which I think is part of what the pundits are looking at when they're looking at that 1%, 2%, 3%. I think 5% is probably a little aggressive. So what's most likely to happen? What do you think's gonna happen? Up, down, flat. 3 choices. So on the count of 3, you tell me what you think. Up, down, or flat? 1, 2, 3.
Flat.
I mostly agree with all of them. So here's a question I ask so often when I'm moving forward on something, and Nikki and I do this all the time. Like, okay, here's an area we're pushing into. Here's a thing we're going to take on. Here's something. And whenever a little bit of fear, anxiety creeps in, the question is, what is the worst? So what is the worst that could happen? So reasonably speaking, what's the worst that could happen? And I'm not talking about like a nuclear attack or some major thing. I'm just talking like in the next 12 months. Don't get cute on me. Like what's the worst that could happen?
The worst that can happen, in my opinion, based on what we know, what the numbers are, inventory and all that kind of thing, I think the worst that could happen is we'll see a softening of maybe 3-4%, 5%. But I always take the perspective of the run-up, because that run-up in Forsyth County alone was 19% year over year, 2 years in a row. That's insane. So the fact that it's kind of like, I forget who it was that gave me this analogy, but it's kind of like going into a casino with $1,000, you make it $5,000, and then you lose $2,000, and you think you lost. You still gain, and it's kind of the market we're in, I think.
I like that. I'm going to steal that. It's okay if I
steal it.
Yeah. Okay.
Use it all day long.
I'll give you credit for like the first couple times.
Yeah, okay.
Bob Marley said that. Okay, so I do like that, and that's exactly right. So if the worst that can happen is a 5% pullback, which was what the most negative bear-ish type of economist group said, then you go all the way back to like January of 2022. So anybody that bought after that might be impacted from the house might be worth less than what they bought it for. But everybody before then, they still have equity. They're are still up from the money they brought to the table. Okay. So then the question is, can you achieve your goals under these types of conditions in 2023?
Yes.
And the answer is, if you say so. So if you say so, and so if you say you can, you can. If you say you can't, then you won't. I know that there's success available in this market in 2023, and so it's completely your choice. So now that's kind of very fair. Yeah, if you say so, okay, Jason, that's great. But what are some of the opportunities as it relates to home prices? So let's talk about opportunity. What are some of the opportunities that exist as it relates to home prices?
Equity.
Equity.
People have the ability now to, I have a couple of clients now that downsize, and now even with that downsize, they gained so much equity that we're having conversations of listing because now they can afford what they thought they never could.
So now they can buy. They've got to run up. They've got more resources, and they can buy. What else? What are other? Yes.
So sales contingencies are back, so you don't have to worry about putting your home on the market and then not having a place to move to as much as we did the last few years.
The extreme transactional risk on the buy side that we've experienced the last couple of years. A little bit of relief, some more options for people who have a property to sell. I like it. What else? Yes.
Seems easier to get people who buy cells now where they were on the fence before.
Say that one more time.
They people do buy and sell where they couldn't before.
Right. Yeah.
They couldn't.
Yeah.
So they do a contingency.
Bringing people into the marketplace. Some relief in the marketplace is bringing people into it. Yes.
Open houses are great opportunities now.
Open houses
because they're not like a carnival, like a circus. So if you may get 6-8 households come through, but out of that you probably can get 2 good prospects to follow up on.
So you have
that's worth your afternoon.
Yes. Yes, you got the ability.
It's not agents and buyers, which is where it was a year ago.
So you have the ability to use that listing as leverage to get additional business where you didn't before. There.
With prices softening and the market softening a little bit, we'll see less for sale by owners because they're going to start to see value in our services. We had such a lack of inventory that for sale by owners were actually being sought out, whereas now they're back to competing with agents on a more level playing field. So, that's another opportunity.
How many for sale by owners did you know of? Because I know of a few where they thought that they were really doing themselves an awesome thing by selling it themselves, but yet they got far less than what they could have gotten had they been on the open market. Even netted more with paying a full commission.
It's kind of ridiculous because it wasn't even this last market. I had a for sale by owners straight down the street from a house that I just sold for 184. He was asking 158. His house was in better shape. I got an appointment, went in, showed him the numbers, showed him the 2 backup contracts that I had on that particular house. He said, I don't care, I'm not paying an agent a commission. I'm putting at least $10,000, if not $15,000 more in your pocket. Are you more concerned with what you're walking with or what I'm walking with?
Yeah, there you go.
And he was more, just like full transparency, I'd love to paint this as a happy ending. I didn't get the listing. I showed him on paper that I'd get him more money, that I got these other people more money, and their house wasn't even as nice a shape. I told him I'd price it at 190. He was asking 158.
And that's when it's time to say, okay, I'll take it.
Okay, I wasn't quite there yet, but yeah.
I'll take it. We'll write your contract right here. Thank you very much. I appreciate you playing the game.
There's a consolation prize.
Yeah. All right, so just here are a few. We hit on a lot of those because this is a super smart room, but more inventory, fewer offers. People see the value of a real estate agent, which, in this past marketplace, a lot of times I don't need you as an agent because house sells itself. What else do you do anyway? Pricing process is more of an exact science rather than just this crazy wild, wild west that we've been experiencing, which is terrible. More expired and for sale by owner opportunities. Expired are up like 800%. And longer days on market give you an opportunity to market the properties. And then finally, skills are required to compete in this marketplace. So you will separate yourself by doing what you should be doing, which is honing your skills, being a master at what you do, being a student of the craft, and then going and being a great professional in this business, you will win more deals because of that. And again, you have everything available to you here to do this. Interest rates. All right, so here's kind of where we've been. You can see super low in the twos, 30-year fixed, crazy money. It just doesn't. It's just crazy. So that is not sustainable. So then we spiked. There isn't often when, or really never, that an interest rate doubled over a year like we just had double. Just hasn't happened. And at the same time, we also haven't been 3% 30-year fixed for any extended period of time either. So we've got a lot of unprecedented. Okay. But you see that it did subside. Joy told you a little bit about that up here. She said that it was 7s and now it came back to the 6 range, which is very true. That's great. A little bit of relief, kind of like that inventory relief too. You know, it's like, okay, if you're here, you come back, relief. And then what's going to happen? Super smart people are saying 2023 that it's going to be somewhere high 5s, mid 5s, low 6s, 6, something like that. So, what do you think? What's going to happen? What's most likely going to happen in 2023 with interest rates?
Exactly what we've said. We're going to fluctuate between that 5s and 6s. You know, maybe a spike. We just don't know what's going to happen with the external factors. But if things stay even keel.
Who else? What do y'all think?
The script I use for my buyers, you can only do 3 things. If it goes down, you can refinance later. You marry your house and you date your mortgage. If it stays the same or it goes up, you're smart for making the move now because you're dating equity.
There you go.
It's a script I use.
Great script. Sounds like you've got great control of that script too. Sounds like you might have used that a time or two.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you displaying that right here in the middle of the whole room. No, seriously, I mean that sincerely. That's impressive, and that's the way we all should be about these hot topics in the marketplace. Is we should have that book of scripts memorized, internalized. We should be able to conversationally say that just the way that he did right there. And because that's gonna be the thing that's going to make you the professional who's gonna win the opportunity, is when you can help the person navigate with that type of clarity and professionalism and being the economist of choice for that person helping navigate the problem.
Well, I was just going to say, the last 2 slides that you put up, I think, are the most significant for any consultation, because this is the conversation of the moment. If you go back even 1, because the rates really went from 3-ish, close to 4-ish, to 7-ish within a matter of a couple months. It was an extreme shock for people, and so now seeing this, and that's a great script, by the way, Kirk. I'm going to use that for that's the education that people need, and that's the validation you bring to pick for use of real estate.
Yes.
For both, like I said, for both buyers and sellers.
To that point, we've talked about this before. I've had this conversation with clients. It's kind of like gas prices, right? When gas prices went super hot, people are like, I'm not driving my car, I'm not going to whatever. And then it settled into, oh, this is what the gas prices are. So people still have to move. We've talked about that for years. People still have to move. So what are your choices? I mean, it starts to settle in. That initial shock wears off. You settle in with, this is what the rates are.
Agreed. People still get married, they still get divorced, they still have kids, they still graduate from school, they still retire. Grandbabies are still born across the country. It's a big drop, you know?
People follow them around too.
Yeah.
I thought about this a few minutes ago, but I'll say it now. There's a site, and I wish I could tell you what it is, but go to the Fannie Mae website and look at the historic interest rates. That's an educational slide too, because it shows you what the historic average is, and we're kind of in it.
We're right in the middle of
right
the historic
there.
average.
Yeah.
We're yes, exactly. Okay, so what's the worst that could happen? Interest rates spike, and then it's a big, oh my goodness, you know, they go to 6.5 or 7 until all the way next year. You know, I mean, there could be some really terrible things that could happen. And the question is, can you achieve your goals in 2023 when the market conditions, these market conditions get better?
Yeah.
So everybody say.
Yes.
You say so. Thank you. I appreciate it. So, all right. So, what is the opportunity as it relates to interest rate? What opportunities do we have? Because I don't want to just tell you what might happen and what the super smart people are saying. Where is the opportunity in this? Think about the opportunity.
Like, lots and new construction.
New construction?
I spent all weekend doing new construction, and it's such a pivot from a year ago when nobody would call you back. They wouldn't pay your commission. Like, they couldn't care if you existed, you know, and it was, they were so helpful, and we're offering this and that, and
incentives,
$20,000 higher
incentives,
on it.
all
Like,
of those. Love it.
yeah,
Yes.
it was like, it blew my mind
Yeah.
a year ago.
We went from in the market crash. We went from no to how would you like that again? Of course we can do that. Yes, we're a custom builder. Yes, most definitely. Okay, so interest of time, we're going to move through a couple of these. Here just is a handful of benefits or opportunities rather. We get to consult again, which you know the consultation time in the last market was like, jump in the car, go, make it over. We can't even see it yet. I don't care. Interested? I don't know. Sign here. Let's go. Consult with a predictable and achievable path. Stability creates stability. So the volatility that we've experienced has just been infectious in all areas of the business, and the rate stability will beget additional stability. When you bring creative solutions, you win. So those creative solutions are going to be the difference maker for you. You are not a loan officer. You have to have very great, wonderful, trusted resources like Guarantee Mortgage that can help to educate you and give you some of the book of tools in their toolbox so that you can then have that conversation at the ground level, bring potential solutions to someone's challenge, like these buy downs and arms and those types of things that we've been talking about. And when you bring those creative solutions, then you're going to win. Sellers are willing to give concessions, which hasn't been a thing. It's been like get in line and I'm not even calling you even if you make an offer. New construction, we just talked about that, expired, and for sale by owner opportunities, again, because of this. Marketing opportunities for creative loan, like you can make sure that you talk with loan officer and get an advertisement approved if you're going to be advertising any type of other loan product. There are certain things that you have. Pardon me? Please, yes. Yeah, Guarantee Mortgage says we can get 3%, 30-year fixed. Again, that's it.
100% financing.
100% financing.
Jason, I just had a nice conversation with a new build that was Tampa-related rematch, and they had preferred lender, only these two, and they give final pay to close it. We brought our own lender and they honored it.
That's happening again too, yes. Where you can bring your own lender. That's again, that was no. It's like, yeah, look.
He said, I'll go that for you, I'll check with the builder.
Exactly.
It was 5 minutes.
Yeah. So educational opportunities, give insight, and then it's a skills-based marketplace again, and you've got all of the tools you need here to hone those skills and take advantage of them.
And it was a USDA.
Well, you just stacking them all up. Yes. All right. So number of home sales, pace of home sales. Here's where we've been. First of all, this the NAR forecast is 4.78 million for 2023, and I love this right here. Again, Atlanta named top real estate market to watch next year. I just want to bring that back in so that you can take that in, okay? Because that's where you are. And then just a 6.8% decrease from 2022. So still single digit. There's a decimal. I know there's 2 digits, but there's a decimal. There's like 6 point something. And it's still single digit reduction in the pace of sales. I mean, that's just not scary. This is 4.78 from 2000. You can see the annual sales had peaked up here in the right before the crash, way low down here, 3.5, and then it's just bounced all around this 5 for years and years and years. And then we've been living right here. And then the seasonally adjusted pace dipped and the projection is 4.78. So I just want you to see the marketplace you are familiar with right here. 4.78 is not a scary number. It's just not a scary number. Here's month supply of inventory. You see that spiked all the way to 3 months supply of inventory.
Oof.
Ridiculous.
How are we gonna get rid of all these?
So many houses. So many houses. But then it pulled back, from 3.5 to 3.2. You can see that that relief, that you can see that coming back again, where demand there's a pause because the marketplace was punched in the nose. Like when you get punched in the nose, your eyes are watering, you get a little and then you got to get your feet back under, wipe the tears out of your face, and then you get moving again, and that's kind of what happened with the marketplace. And so you see that. This is the expired slide that I wanted to make sure you guys saw, the expired opportunities in the marketplace. We talked about that a little bit already, but I wanted you to see how significant the increase. This isn't like there were 5 and now they're 10 and it was 100% increase. Okay, I'm talking, 671. This is just a huge number. So, and again, several counties. What's most likely to happen with the pace of home sales? Just real quick. Up, down, or flat? 1, 2, 3, up, down, or flat? 1, 2, 3.
Up.
Okay, pace of home sales up. I heard up mostly. And so what's the worst that could happen?
Down. What?
Down. You guys are so smart. This is a good room. So can you achieve your goals in 2023? And everybody said,
yes.
You see, I love the yes. I'm kind of looking for agencies. Yes, will do. You know what? I'm good with yes. I'm good with yes. Because if you say so. So what's the opportunity as it relates to the pace of home sales? And so the opportunity is, just give me a couple of them. Opportunity as it relates to the pace of home sales.
I think because we're going to lose a lot of agents, this is a time where we can take market share.
You can take market share. We have an opportunity to take market share.
Look at that.
My heart will read my notes. All right.
Actually, I got them ahead of time.
Yeah. Hey, Bob, will you prove these, man? I need to know if you slightly disagree or completely agree. So back to sustainable pace of home sales, what we were doing was not sustainable. Every time that it's peaked over that number, we've had some type of a pullback. It just isn't sustainable. Frustrated, expired, and for several owners, we, instead of having an empowered FSBOs and expireds because they are completely in control, they're frustrated at this point because of the pace of sales. Market's slowed to the point where we can be purposeful about our strategic decisions and plans. This is again, the breakneck pace creates, you're just holding on for dear life. You have to make hay while the sun shines. You're holding on. Now we do have a little breather room to be able to make good, solid strategic plans that we can implement. Building an inventory of listings, again, agents will leave the business. You guys talked about that. There's going to be a refining in the industry. Very, very, very important that happens. We'll get to that next. Just because the market pace slows does not mean that your pace of sales have to slow. Do you believe that?
Yes.
If you say so.
If I say so.
I appreciate that. So this is important for you to note because you have goals for 2023. Is your goal to stay flat? Is your goal to slow down? It's as long as you can give me a reason behind your goal independent, I'm totally fine with it. I'm not judging your goal. I'm just telling you that you definitely can do more in 2023 with a slowing pace of sales. To do more, you're going to have to do more. And you're going to have to do more really well. So if you do the same that you've always done, you're going to do less. And that is a reality in this market. You're going to have to do more to do the same, and you're going to need to do more really well to do more. You can do more. And then again, skills are required in this marketplace, and it's an absolute requirement for you to do so. So number of real estate agents, we're going to take it home here. Number of real estate agents is the law of equilibrium. It is a law. It's not a suggestion. It's the whole gravity thing. I'm not going to drop the remote because I need it, but it's the law of gravity. It's a law. As transaction size increase in our industry, always, there's going to be a flood of agents who chase that available income into this business. We have a very low barrier of entry into our business. 75 hours, $500, poof, you're a real estate agent. You too can make $1 million. Okay? And so a lot of people get into the market, and that has been even exaggerated in the work at home environment that we've had over the last couple of years. So I think this tells a little bit of the story, but right leading up to the market crash, we had 1.5 million, over 1.5 million real estate agents. In 1 year, there was a pullback of 140,000, and then over the next 4 years, we were under 1 million real estate agents in the U.S. So we went from over 1.5 down to less than 1 million in the Great Recession. And we're over 1.5 million again right now. And so with this law of equilibrium, there's definitely going to be a refining and a pullback of the number of agents in the business. There are going to be people who aren't at a place where you are. They get isolated. They didn't know what they were signing up for. There have been a lot of accidental successes in the last couple of years market because the opportunities were so plentiful. And it was not necessarily skills based. You just had to be willing to hold on 8 seconds on the ride. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where we were the last couple of years, but that's not where we are today. And it may cause a lot of people to either frustratedly take the exit ramp or, this is where I jump off this ride. It's been a good career. There will be a lot of agents who take the exit ramp just simply because it's their time. And whenever things are robust and it's just a massive velocity, people who are really ready to tap out don't, because they're like, I'm just going to ride this thing until it's over. And so when we go from 6.2 or 3 million down to 4.7 million, in their mind, the ride's over. There are people who just want to naturally take the exit ramp. And what also is not represented in the pullback from 1.5 million to 1 million or 1.2 million or 1.1 million or whatever it ends up being, the number of realtors or licensed agents do not properly reflect the number of agents who are still licensed, but they have mentally taken the exit. I know that there are agents in the marketplace right now who are saying, this market's so hard, I'm just not going to do anything until this happens. But they're still licensed, they're still a realtor, they're still in the business, but they've resigned themselves not to do anything. And so that's not representative. Okay, so what will most likely happen? Most likely there will be a pullback. What's the worst that could happen? The person leaving the business could be you. That's the worst that could happen, in my mind, for you. Don't let that happen. Okay? Take advantage of what's available to you. All right. Can you achieve your goals in these conditions with a pullback in real estate? Yes. We're getting towards the end. So what is the opportunity? Here's the opportunity. We got an opportunity to take market share. The transaction size per agent is going to increase. That is just a simple math equation. All right. So transaction size per agent is going to increase. Increase professionalism back into the business. So because that's going to be required, there is going to be an increase of professionalism in the business. You get to build experience that will last you a lifetime in this industry. Those of you who weathered the Great Recession have, and this time is not like last time, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. This is a shift. Those of you who have been through a shift, I'll say that better. You have experience that serves you very well in this shift. People who don't know what a shift feels like, they might be a little scared about what we're in or what's coming. Generally, the people who've experienced it, I'm having conversations and I'm saying, how do you feel about the shift? I'm not worried. I'm glad to see it coming. I'm really excited about this coming because I know what it's going to do and I know that I'm going to be able to weather the storm. So vendors offer better terms on prices for their tools and services. That's happening throughout the industry too. You'll see vendors and products that are going to be more affordable to you as a practitioner. Build a database with orphan clients. Either people just getting out of the business and you buying their database, or just knowing that people got out of the business and now the buyer or seller they don't have an agent anymore. So they need you, and you're going to be able to build business that way. Strong competitive team. There are people who are going to need to join teams or organizations that have the tools and resources and experience and training and mentorship and accountability and coaching to be able to succeed in this marketplace. You have an opportunity to build your downline, to be able to invite people to this company that rewards you. We share the profit with those who help the company to grow, and you'll have an opportunity to offer that to people in the marketplace who are looking for this type of environment. And then finally, we are in a skills-based business and skills-based marketplace, and you are going to have an opportunity to compete as long as you plug into those things. So there's definitely opportunity, and I'm going to leave you with this. And this is a little guy. Do I have volume right here?
Oh yeah, for the speakers.
So, yep. So
you should. Yep.
Okay. All right. And this guy's spitting facts. Wisdom right here.
So my question to you today is, what do you practice every day? What do you practice? Because what you practice, you will get good at. What do you practice? Do you practice joy in your life? Do you practice peace in your life? Do you practice happiness in your life? Or do you practice a lot of complaining? If you complain, you will get very good at it. You will get so good at it that you will find fault with everything. Even when there's no fault that a layman cannot see. You, being an expert, will see it. What do you practice? Do you practice anger? Because if you practice anger, you will get very good at it. And you will get so good at it that the most trivial you'll think. Trivial thing will make you angry. Like sitting in an airplane and watching the sea cross from you somehow looks better than the one you've been given. And that is so unfair of the airlines. What do you practice? You practice being worried? Because if you practice being worried, you will get very good at it. And you will get so good at it that everything will worry you, including the buffalo you don't have. So I propose, if this is true that it's a question of practice, then I propose you practice joy.
All right. There you go. That's number 11, if you say so.
Awesome. Great. You borrow that. Everybody say all right, we'll leave that.
We're getting the food ready.
Okay. All right. So let's look at it again. Ray and his team, you want to come out the figure?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay, that was fantastic. And I 100% agree with Jason Bonds about 2008. I know some people in this room, and there's not plenty of people I don't know yet. But in 2008, the real estate market was rough. And believe it or not, I was actually a realtor back then. So I know about that. And anyway, so now we're in 2023, it's different. Same thing with the markets, stock market, bond market, it's different as well, right? And so the reason that I'm in this business, or in this room, I should say, is really to help you. Because my experience, going back to age 23, buying my first house was a great experience. Got an awesome realtor. My realtor's name was Sarah Godleski, who was my mother. So, I bought a house for $123,000. It's in Old Savannah Square, which is in Swanee. And then, fast forward 6 more years later, and I'm selling it for like $170,000. I was a pretty happy person. My experience with the financial advisor wasn't that great. So it was like 2008. Oh, it's the market. So, the market is what I would show. So when I got into this business in 2014, I really wanted to seek out solopreneurs. Those are folks, right, that don't necessarily have W-2 employees, but you have 1099 or starting a business. And of course, I work with a lot of folks who are in the corporate world too. But what I found is you really want to be able to have a sit down and figure out how do you be creative with what you're doing with your business, right? And so you get a financial plan in place. Sorry, I lost the train of thought there. Anyways, is how do you be able to put money away in a tax look at me, I'm just like
You're good.
you did such a good job up
You're
there. Yeah, sorry. Anyway, how we do is we have a consultation, right? And in the consultation we find out where are you at, what are your goals, and how to get there. Okay, and we're always taking on a fiduciary responsibility. We're not captive to any one particular insurance company. We're not captive to a bank, right? And so that's what we do. We brought lunch today from Los Hermanos. They do a taco bar. It's really good. As far as our team goes, you met John Christian and Macy, and so they have very positive energy. They're a lot like If You Say So, right? They're a lot like that. As far as consultations go, I'll be bringing a checkbook to have a consultation, and we kind of go over how do we get compensated? How can we help you? And we always listen, right? We listen to what you're saying from a referral standpoint. So over the years, we've really built out pretty good estate planning, CPAs, those types of professions, right? So if you need an introduction in any of those arenas, we can make that call happen. And on the flip side of that, right, you probably have relationships. Well, I have an estate planner or I have a CPA. That's fantastic. We always like to collaborate with those folks, make sure that your goals are being met, right? So sorry for having a total brain fart today. It happens. In a one-on-one setting, it's a lot better. But well, with Jason is amazing.
Lesson number 13, farts are always funny.
Farts are always funny. And so the food is back there. It should be good. Thanks. We look forward to meeting you. Wait, Don.
I just wanted to say I've used Ray ever since I started working at this market center. With all my investments, does a great job, always available. I highly recommend it.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming. Again, lunch is in the back. Really quick, I told you guys I'm taking back to church. If you see somebody in this room that you do not know their face and or their name, please go introduce yourself so we can put this family back together in this market center so you guys can all love each other and we all have something to teach each other. Appreciate y'all. Enjoy lunch.
Thank you.